Hello everyone, welcome back to Money Talks. As promised on the prior video, we said we're going to discuss more in detail every single one of the different parts of understanding where is it that realtors really get their leads. And in this video, we're going to talk about all of the different ways that we generate leads and more details from my personal experience of how I've dealt with them, and also some of the things or some information that it's back with all this stuff. So, going into this, the number one thing, and before I say it, I've also got to say, I'm sure everyone that is a realtor, or maybe even people that are not realtors, hate because I'm sure at some point in some jobs and some professions, you kind of have to do it. So, place number one in which you can get leads, it's cold calling and door knocking. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I do this in a different way. Cold calling, it's really a hard thing to say that I do. I would mostly say that I don't. But I actively have some idea of what it is. And let me explain why. Because you're either in, you're out. You can't be in the middle, right? So, cold calling is there is going to be a database that you're going to be provided. And you call this person in the database, essentially begging for their business. And I use the word begging because they don't know you, you don't know them. You just know that they're on the market for either the service that you provide or the anything that you're doing. So it's a way to connect to people, and you are presenting your business, your service, your provider, whatever it may be, depending on the spectrum of the business that you are on. And you are pitching why you are the best or why they should do business with you. I don't do that, but I'll tell you what I do. Let's say I'm at Walmart. Uh, yeah, let's say Walmart, right? And this is something that happens quite often on a Saturday or Sunday. There is zero lines open, or maybe one or two lines that actually have a cashier. And there's a lot of self checkouts, but you have a ton of stuff because you're preparing yourself for the week. So you go and do the long line. And people start saying, oh my God, there's a long line in here. They can't put more employees. That is my opportunity to do some cold calling. Oh, yeah, right? They have very few employees in here. I feel bad. Imagine the poor girl, the poor guy, whatever it may be, that is working right there, all the pressure that they feel. The conversation starts talking, and we start making this rapport, and we start talking and everything. And then at some point, the conversation leads to, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I work at XYZ company. Oh, that's nice. I do real estate and I do XYZ company. Oh, really? And the conversation keeps on and keeps on. We're about to hit the next person that needs to pay, which is in this case me. So this is what I say. Hey, I would love to keep this conversation. Let me have your phone number and I'll call you tomorrow. Let's say 2. Is that a good time? Perfect. 2. Now, although it's not really considered cold calling, the person yet doesn't know me completely. But it gives me the opportunity to quote unquote beg for that business, which I say quote unquote because I'm not really begging anymore. The person knows what I do and there was a genuine interest. So that's why I don't consider this cold calling. But it's somewhat similar because 9 out of 10 times that I do this, they won't ever pick me up. Call, straight to voicemail. That's it. It's horrible when you do cold calling, but that's one way of getting leads. 1 out of those 10 will actually pick up the phone, will have a good conversation, and maybe it leads up to something. Maybe it doesn't, but at least that's where you can get one lead. Door knocking. Now, I would be a liar if I tell you that I go to every door that's available in my neighborhood and I say, hello, how are you? My name is ABC and I work for XYZ company. We are real estate agents. We are realtors and we do this. Would you be interested in selling your house? using me as, bah, there goes the door right to your face. I won't say, and I would lie if I say that I do that. So this is what I do. And chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Use the chat over there. But I think it's number 3 on the list. Open houses. That is how I do my door knocking. I will tell you what my open house is. Before the open house, and I would say a good 5 to 7 days before the open house, I get 50 to 70 flyers printed out. And I'll go around that neighborhood. And that's my cue. Hey, how are you, neighbor? My name is ABZ, and I work for XYZ Company. We are hosting an open house for all of the neighborhood. I would love to invite you to come over to our open house this Sunday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you. That is what happens probably 5 out of every 50 times. The other 45, you can guess it. Door right to my face. It happens. But this, for me, it's a better lead generator than knocking in a door of someone that I know. And I will tell you something, because this is something that I have. On my house, right on the outside of it, if you walk to my door, you're going to see a big sign that says, no soliciting. Guess what that means? You're not coming to my house to offer services. Simple. And a lot of people are doing it. So door knocking and cold calling, yes, I understand. And if people say it in the chat, I understand that. It's gonna be something that it's really, really old, but it still gets results, depending on how you do it. So next one, purchasing those leads through the internet. Places like Zillow, Realtor.com, they have a team in which any person that is, let's talk about Realtor.com. If you are on Realtor.com, at some point, somewhere in there, and if you haven't done it, pause the video right after I say this. There should be a button where it says connect to an agent. If you haven't done it, you can do it. They will call you, ask you some questions, what we call betting on this industry. And once you're vetted, then they will pass that information to an agent that will facilitate your questions. Guess what? It's not free. At least for the agent. The agent pays to get those leads out of sites like Realtor.com or Zillow. Now, I will tell you also, because of some friends that work in the industry or myself, I know that some brokers have some sort of program in which you get leads from Realtor.com or Zillow and all these places, and you don't really pay for it. Actually, matter of fact, you don't pay for it. But that's a whole different story. There is going to be independent workers that are real estate agents that will pay for this. That's another way of getting your leads. Now, I think I was right, and you guys are not going to correct me in the bottom chat, but open houses. Open houses for me, I'm going to be the one that always says, this is a great place where to start. Because an open house, every person that walks in through those doors already has one step into the buying process. They're already looking at properties. And in my experience, I would say 4 out of every 5 people are not represented. They're starting the journey and they want to see what's out there. That's a perfect opportunity for someone to guide. This is where I would say the big difference is when it comes up to being a realtor. You have to guide people. You have to be able to be the knowledgeable pillar that is sharing knowledge to them so that they can see you as that person that they need to fulfill their needs. It's not just about meeting people. It's really about understanding their needs and being able to match their needs to the piece of property that has those needs. But we're not going to get into all of that. Open houses, though, I will say this. They're not made like they used to be made. For me, open houses nowadays, it's kind of like the homework that you used to do when you were in high school. Procrastinated at the last second and with no real effort. For me, an open house should be something that gets planned at least 2 weeks. You have to be able to post it in a place, get views, be able to share with your friends, with your family. Maybe on one of those pages in Facebook that is for the area. That way you can get the most traffic because by experience, I will tell you how open houses that I've hosted get maybe two, maybe four people show up. And that's not necessarily the fault of anyone, but preparation is a big key important player when it comes to having a successful turnaround because one of those people that walk in may be the person that falls in love with that house. So, would you prefer to having 2 people or having 10 people? Anyways, the more people you have, the more leads that you can get. But it's all about also being able to communicate that to customers, to anyone that walks into the house. But again, we're not going to get into a lot of detail because then again, this video, if I said it was going to be a 2 hour long video, if we did everything together, now it's going to be 10 minutes from the first one, 2 hours from this one, 2 hours in the next one. So let's go to the next one. Networking events and community involvement. So networking events. Now, I'm not sponsored by anyone, as you guys may see in this video. We don't have a lot of views. This is a brand new channel. I'm barely starting with all these ideas and we're putting it all in video. Eventually, if I ever get sponsored, I want to say there is a company that I don't remember the name on top of my head right now, but they, for a specific amount a month, they are able to gather up 6 people that have similar interests. And you go into a specific restaurant to talk, to meet each other. Now, don't get me wrong, this is no dating site. That's not what it is. This is, hey, I am a realtor. This person's a lender. This person's a contractor. This person is a pest control. And because we're in a similar field or it's connected in some way to our field, we get connected and we speak and we talk. That's what network is all about, meeting people. It could be regarding your same sphere of influence. It could be somewhere outside. Networking, it's going to be the best way to get those leads, which we're going to call them referrals. But more on that later. Community involvement, charity. There's going to be lots and lots, I promise you this, lots of things that are happening in any city that has to do with the involvement of community. Like, let's just talk about Earth Day. I can tell you for a fact, because over the years that I've worked in retail, there's a lot of places that when it comes to Earth Day, they'll go and plant trees in a specific area of the city. Or there's going to be, I don't know, rallies, or there's going to be food collections. There's going to be a lot of different things. Being part of it, one, allows you to connect with people. Two, makes the neighborhood know who you are. And even more when you're a realtor. I mean, you are there and you're showing that you're there for that community. Next one, past clients and sphere of influence. Now, I'm going to say something without saying the company that I used to work for. But there was a company that I used to work for that was really on the top notch of pricing. And I always had an issue when it comes up to making sales. One of the biggest things that I always told people, it's your past clients can always be either the referral that gives you a new client or could be continued customers. But you gotta be able to connect with them in a way that doesn't look like, hey, this is so and so, and we met 3 years ago. I worked for you, and I did this and this and this for you. I wanted to know if you want to buy another house from me. That's not realistic. That's not true. You're just soliciting business. But here's what I can tell you. Hey, this is ABC from XYZ company. I was just around X city, and I remember that you lived here, 2 years ago that you bought the house? happened to remember about you and I just wanted to connect and see how you were doing. Oh, really? Tell me more about it. What about the high school? Oh my God, that is so great. Oh, so you guys are looking to move out? Oh, there's a new baby coming to your family. Oh my God, congratulations. You know, the conversation talks and talks. So those past clients can always be a source of new referrals or new business. But it's up to you to connect with them in a manner that is true and real. Because otherwise, you're just cold calling, even though it's not really cold calling because you know the person, but you get the point. Sphere of influence. I mean, everyone has a sphere of influence: brother, sister, mother, father, aunt, uncle, cousins. There's a lot of people that are, well, hopefully there's a lot of people in everyone's family, but if there's not, best friend. If there's not a best friend, I don't know, church, I don't know, uh, anime, reading club. There is something that every single one of us do, and it's a perfect opportunity for us to share what we do with our sphere of influence. Because here's the thing, you don't know what you don't know. If they don't know that you're in real estate, how are they ever going to contact you whenever they have a question or a need? So that's another great way to get one of those leads. Now, remember when we said we're going to talk about referrals down the line? Here's the time where we're going to talk about referrals. Referrals from friends, family, professionals. Have you ever heard the term, or whenever they say, like, hey, I have someone that knows of someone that knows of someone? That's what a referral is. I can tell you, I know who does my yard. And if my neighbor ever comes in and says, hey, man, I have had issues with the person that does my lawn, that mows my lawn, sorry, and I haven't been able to get a hold of them. Hey, man, I know this person because he does mine, and he's always there every Friday at the end of the month. He knows that that's going to be collection for the trash, so he actually puts everything on the front so that they can just collect it for me. Guess what? That person just earned a referral for what they do. So your friends, your family, and all those co-workers that you used to have are a great source for that referral, because that person that it's, I don't know, let's just put an age out there, 30 years old, that used to work with you in human resources, it's about to get married and they want a house. And because you shared that you were in real estate, they thought about you. And guess what? You finished the entire transaction. They're so happy in your house. They're so overwhelmed with joy that their friend, who is, or maybe not their friend, their father, let's say their father, they just lost one person or one family member for their own house because they got married and now they're a new couple in their own house. So now they want to downsize. So guess what? Because you help your coworker, your ex-coworker, now they have their own house, and now you got referred to someone that wants to buy and sell. So don't ever hesitate telling your friends, your family, and those coworkers that you used to work with what you do. But again, we're going to get into the same conversation of past clients. You don't call people or you don't text people to say, hey, I am so-and-so. We used to work at XYZ company. I just want to let you know that I'm in real estate. So when you want to buy a house or when you want to sell a house, call me. You don't do that. You said, hey, I was thinking about this one time that we had so much fun when we were doing shipment at this specific store. You remember that time? Oh, yes, I remember we had a lot of fun. We were talking and we were dancing and we were smiling and laughing and all this stuff. Oh, yeah, me too, blah, blah, blah. It's been a long time without seeing you. Would you like to catch up with coffee? Oh, that sounds sweet. When are you a bit, boop, 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 boop. And then you see that person. Whenever you see that person for coffee, then at that point, you've got all the opportunity. How's been your life? Oh my God, I got married and we have this and we have that. And guess what? I'm looking for a house. Oh my God, I'm a realtor. Who would say the coincidence? Obviously, this is just an example. It doesn't always happen like that. More than likely, it's not going to happen that way. It could, slight probability. There's not a single time that there is 0% probability for something. Write that down. Never. But that is one of the ways in which your friends, family, and coworkers could be a great source of referrals. Social media content and also personal branding. Now you're a realtor. Now you're a real estate agent. You are your own business. So, just the way that I'm doing right now, but there's more elaborate ways as well. So, for example, having your own personal dash professional Facebook page in which you show all of the listings that you have, the pictures, the videos, the I'm doing a walk in the house and let me show you this, and you're walking with everyone and they're watching your stories. You are creating content that eventually someone which may be related to you as a friend or not, or maybe some outsider will see it and say, I want to work with that person. So just because you don't get the follows or the likes or the whatever the case may be, don't give up. Keep on posting. Those are opportunities that in the long run will pay off. Same thing with personal branding. I mean, I'm not going to get into the topic of logos and LLCs and all that stuff. Whole different thing that I'm not going to cover today. But last two things. Farming a neighborhood. What does farming a neighborhood mean? I mean, it depends who you ask. But if you ask me, I love to do this by checking values of a specific neighborhood and sending a mail to them. There's specific mails on that. I can't share all that stuff because obviously we'll get into a lot of different things and I don't want to get with all this stuff again. This is all educational purposes. But when it comes into farming a neighborhood, it's really there's two things that I want to share on that. One, getting to know the neighborhood. Really, what does the neighborhood have? Look at the houses, go there, see what the structure of the homes are like, see how old they are, look who's got some equity on the home. There's a lot of things that you could do that leads to that mailer that says something along the lines of, hello, blah, 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 blah. If you want to blah, 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 here's my phone number, blah, 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 blah. And eventually someone will say, hey, I'm kind of interested because I'm downsizing, I'm upsizing, I am moving out of state, I am whatever the case may be. But those are another opportunity. And last but not least, strategic partnerships. See, here's the thing. A partnership is something that always and always will pay out. Doesn't matter what it is. But I'll give you three examples. Lenders. Obviously, every broker will have its preferred lender. All the time. Everyone has it. You know, that's the person that works in this office. They help us. We put the person through here and everything. But that doesn't mean it's your last resource. You know, lender A, and then you got lender B, and then you got lender C and lender D. And all of these people, because you met them, and eventually grew to give business to them, they're likely to pay that back to you. Let's say, for example, person A comes in to lender C. And they're like, hey, you know what? We wanted to get a pre-approval letter because we're looking for this house, blah, 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 all these things. And the lender does all the pre-work and they get qualified and then they get their pre-approval letter. And then the lender's like, hey, you know, who is your agent? That way I could communicate with them that they have, that you're already financially set with your pre-approval letter so you can start looking at homes. Oh, we don't have an agent. Oh, hey, person ABC from XYC. I have this person that is unrepresented. They are pre-approved with me. We've walked through all the financing and they're ready and set to go. Oh, thank you very much, lender. I forgot your letter. B? C? that's a great way of earning some business. Builders. Now, per se, we're going to get into the argument that builders just don't like realtors. It's a really tough thing to say. I'm not going to get into any of this thing, but I can tell you I've met some of those builders, and they always tell me, like, here's the thing. If you're bringing someone to me, at the end of the day, if I can close, I'm getting inventory off my shoulders. So build those relationships. Call them up. Hey, my name is ABC from XYZ, and I was looking at some of the new builds that you have, and I wanted to see, what are you offering for realtors, blah, blah, blah. I may have, you start the conversation. You go over there, you meet with a representative, and there's another partnership. Maybe that representative has a specific incentive that will allow you to get a buyer. And both of you guys win. But it's a partnership, right? Last but not least, and the three things that came out to my mind, divorce attorneys. See, attorneys, you can have lots of relationships. You can have real estate attorneys, divorce attorneys. There's a lot of different attorneys that you as a realtor should start having as a partnership. But a divorce attorney, I don't wish this upon no one, right? But when a divorce happens and there's real estate involved, guess what? Texas is a communal state. So either stuff gets sold or there's some kind of arrangement or something. Well, if there's a divorce attorney that you are their friend, their partner, whatever you want to call their acquaintance, whatever it is, and they think of you first, when that divorce is happening, it's, hey, I've got this person that does real estate. They can market the real estate and get it sold quickly so that we can get over with this divorce. Perfect. You just got another referral because of a strategic partnership. And one of the things that I will tell, just to end this video, it's this is something that I always hated when it came out to all the retail jobs that I had. Strategic partnership, strategic. That word comes everywhere. You got to do strategic. You got to be here. You got to be there. To be fair, strategic means it's a strategy that you're going to follow when something happens. So, for example, first-time home buyers. What is your strategy? What lender works best with your first-time buyers? Builders, what kind of incentives they have? What is your strategy behind that? Maybe you meet someone right now that tells you, like, hey, I'm looking for something brand new in this specific area, but I haven't been able to find anything that is under my price point. And you just talk to someone in the area that is like, oh, I'll get you this incentive if you can bring me someone right now. Boom. That's a strategy. So whenever they tell you strategic, it just means really think about the different outcomes that this has and give a solution to every outcome that you can possibly think of. If you do that, then you can call that a strategic partnership. I hope this video was good for you guys. I hope I didn't take that much time. It's probably going to be like a 20, 25, 30-minute video. Didn't really count the minutes in there. But thank you for being here. All of these things are great ways in which realtors get their leads. And I hope if one of these was something that could help you, I hope you use it, because those are the things that I do, that I plan on doing, and that in the long term will always pay out. So thank you for being here, guys.